going on, guys? So I have had this Tahoe for about a week now, and I've been trying to drive it as much as possible just so I can get a really good idea of how I like it and what I like about it more than anything. So the first thing that just pops out as a big like, is the sound. This 6.2 liter V8 with this Borla exhaust sounds really, really nice, and I don't know how to emphasize it enough. It sounds really, really nice. Secondly, what I really like about it is just the overall layout of the interior. To me, this thing just, again, screams executive. It gives you a really good feeling of being in an upscale vehicle. So as I've driven this, I don't necessarily have any problems with the overall quality of the fit and finish. I think that it is actually assembled very well. Another thing that I really like about this vehicle is the comfort. It is still a very comfortable vehicle to be in. I've put a good number of miles on it, and in my opinion, it is probably the most comfortable SUV I've been in. Now, something that I don't really care for and is different between it and an Expedition is the back seat. So when you're sitting in the third row, your knees are up pretty high. It's a little bit difficult and a little bit hard to fit in the back row. However, the second row in this vehicle is vastly larger than that of the Navigator that we have. I know the third row is primarily meant for the people you put back there when you have more people than you need in the vehicle, essentially. You're taking the family plus some. However, you want all your rows to be as comfortable as possible. Third row, not so much. Second row, very comfortable and has far more room than, again, my wife's Navigator that we currently have. One of the differences between this and the new Expedition is that the new Expedition's second row seats slide back, whereas these are non-adjustable. So you don't have the ability to move these seats forward or back to give extra room to the people that might be in the third row.
So this Tahoe comes equipped with a feature called magnetic ride control, which is typically reserved for Denali vehicles from the GMC lineup. It scans the road, gives you calibration adjustments to your suspension to give it a smoother ride. Now, the weight of this vehicle is 5,600 pounds empty, and it has a tow capacity in four-wheel drive at 8,100 pounds. If you opt for a two-wheel drive, it'll be 8,400 pounds. One of the really nice additions to this package is that they actually installed red Brembo calipers up front. So they contrast very well to the wheel. They look really good, and functionally they're going to help the vehicle stop much quicker. So that's a really nice touch, and they look fantastic from the outside through those 22-inch wheels.
So similar to most Tahoes, the interior of this one is very well laid out. It just has a beautiful interior. The leather is very nice, very comfortable, has a lot of bolstering. The interior look is, again, very executive. It just has a very high-end appeal to it. So taking a look at the interior of this vehicle, let's look at some of the controls. On this side, you're going to have your trailer brake control as well as your gain adjustment. You'll have your four-wheel drive control and your headlight control. You also have your foot pedal adjustment, parking sensors, lane departure, and your traction control. You have your digital computer in the center, which is essentially a large screen, very similar to how most of the manufacturers are doing their premium vehicles. Your RPMs on the left and your speedometer on the right, and you can toggle through all sorts of different menus here for that center information display. So you can have it here on your fuel economy, you can put it on a digital speedometer, and you can turn it off if you'd like. So taking a look at the center stack, it's actually very nice. So you have your rear air conditioning controls, you have your front air conditioning controls, as well as your infotainment system controls. One of the things that I think would be a little bit of an improvement is if they made the buttons on the screen take you directly to an option. So for instance, if I want to change the bass or the fade and balance and things like that, to press menu, and then you have to press the tone settings up here to make those changes. Again, not too many steps, but it can be a little confusing for people who are just learning how to use the system. The reality, though, is all of the manufacturers are switching to this whole touchscreen interface that in some ways makes it easier, but at the same time can be more difficult. It's just learning the system ultimately that's going to matter and how quickly you pick up all the settings. Overall, though, it's a really nice system. This one has a ton of apps and features available on the actual navigation screen. For instance, you can check your weather, but it also has a dedicated weather.com app. You have Glimpse, Marketplace, check traffic, you can shop, iHeartRadio, audiobooks, Wall Street Journal, Pandora. You just have a ton of applications available on this system that some of the other systems out there just don't have. So I do like the infotainment system. A nice feature is this little hidden compartment here. You press this button at the bottom and you have a nice compartment that's about 7 inches wide and about 6-7 inches deep. So it's a good storage area if you have something you want to throw in there, and it conceals it when the vehicle is off and you're not in it. Pretty nice. This CD slot right here is designed for CDs or DVDs to play through the rear seat entertainment system. While you're driving, of course, it does not allow you to play any video up here, but once you stop, it'll transition the video to both the back and the screen so you can watch it up front if you're stopped at, a store waiting for someone to go in and out. It does have a Bose sound system, and it sounds really good, by the way. And it has a really, really good amount of bass response, nice highs, nice mids. It's just overall staged very well. Sounds really good. Then up here, you have your controls for both the moonroof and sunroof, as well as your home link controls to open your garage doors and your lighting. Plus, it has the ability for you to open up the rear tailgate either fully 3/4 of the way or to turn the feature off. One of the critiques I had on an earlier video I did on this vehicle is the little fit and finish, the gaps right here. I think they could have made those gaps a little tighter or closer together just to give it a cleaner appearance. This is all plastic. Most of these things are plastic on any of the vehicles. But right here, this gap is about 1/8 of an inch thick, and it would have been nice to see them narrow it just a little bit more. It would have given it a little bit of a sleeker, cleaner finish in this area. Very small gripe, but just one I felt I have to bring up. Of course, it does have dual air conditioning for both driver and passenger. And a point that I made in a previous video is just the use of real buttons to control the rear AC system. On my wife's Navigator, you have to go through the sync system in order to control the rear air conditioning, and I really don't like that. Overall, beautiful interior. It is well laid out, and it has a very, very high-end feel to it. It does have a nice one-touch button here to power fold the mirrors in. Can come in really handy if you're in a tight parking spot. As you can see, the center console is simply massive. It's got a huge center console space. You could put a lot of stuff in there. The headphones for the rear entertainment system are also in there. Dual cup holders. You have a couple USB jacks here, and you also have a couple USB jacks here along with your auxiliary input. This does have, again, heated and ventilated seats. Going into the back of this Tahoe, very, very nice space. Now, this does have the 2 captain's chairs with the space in the center. I generally prefer a solid bench back here. In some SUVs, they put a large center console here, like the Infiniti. But this is a pretty nice setup, especially if you have people who are going to move into the 3rd row. One of the reasons why we really prefer that 2nd row bench is because we like to put our child seat in the center area here, simply because it allows my wife to sit next to our daughter, and at the same time, it's kind of a more comfortable seating position. The rear air conditioning controls give you a lot of functionality, plus you have 2 USB ports and an HDMI port and an auxiliary port. You also have a 110 outlet here, as well as a 12-volt charging outlet right there. Now, something different that Chevrolet and GMC do is they put the ventilated seat area right here. They actually put the intake area for the air here so it blows out the front. On this vehicle, they're underneath the seat, so it pulls air in from underneath the seat and it ventilates it through the seat. Up here is going to be your rear seat entertainment system, your monitor, and you can see the ductwork for all of your air conditioning to the back area. Again, something that's really nice about the Tahoe is the fact that they put the rear air conditioning controls at the bottom of the center stack up there with actual buttons and knobs, which are very nice. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Chevy Tahoe RST 6.2 liter beast. Really enjoyed having it for a week and driving it around and just seeing what it's all about. It's a beautiful SUV. Definitely, if you're looking more for a sports-oriented full-size SUV, this might be the route to go. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again soon. So what about this thing? This is a 2018 Jeep Rubicon, fully loaded. Pretty cool how they now give you LED headlights on it, move the turn signals up to the corners, put lights in the bumper. This is an awesome package. So I have full access to doing a review on this if you guys think it would add any value, let me know. Put your ideas in the comment section below.